Ole the Goalie Tech Reviews. Today is another exciting day at the Ole household because in my hands is this box, and inside of this box is something I've been looking forward to seeing for quite some time. Stick around. All right, so what's in the box is the big question. Well, you probably already read the title of the video, so you pretty much know. But let's go ahead, give you a little background. I was super excited about the Google Pixel Fold. Couldn't wait for it to be released. Was counting the days. Then the release came out, clicked on the website, and was discovered that they weren't releasing in Canada. You can imagine my shock, dismay, and sadness. I literally was heartbroken. I was so looking forward to getting this phone and being able to give it a try. As you all know, probably watched some of my previous videos, I absolutely love the Microsoft Duo. I love the way that the Duo works. I actually happen to still have my unit here that I use on a fairly regular basis, and I absolutely love this phone. I love how smooth the phone opens and closes, and just the whole idea of how well everything works on this phone. And the Google Pixel Fold seemed to be the closest thing to the Microsoft Surface Duo 3. As it turns out, we still haven't got one and likely won't. So, as I said, really heartbroken, wanted to get that, the Google Pixel Fold, and you know, short of importing it in, wasn't able to do so. Just recently with some of the updates with the beta program, making the apps full screen and everything, and also the fact that I haven't really seen a Canadian perspective on this phone, on any YouTube channel really. I mean, short of, you know, the odd sort of quick review by some of the bigger names. I thought, wow, this would be a great sort of segment or series to post, the Google Pixel Fold from a Canadian perspective. So here we are. You know, it's a universal or global phone. We know that everything's going to work, so we're not concerned with that. We're not concerned with LTE or 5G bands or any of that other stuff. Really more just about how the phone works. So here it is. I have not opened this box. I have not seen this. I took my daughters to Auburn, Washington about a month and a half ago to see the Ghost concert, and I went to literally every single Best Buy from here to there to try and just see the phone, and of course they weren't in stock anywhere, so I've never actually seen nor held one in my hands. So this opening is the first time I'm doing that, and you guys are going to share that excitement with me, and I'm glad you're here to do so. So let's do that. Hopefully I didn't just cut it open. So here we go, nicely packaged, as well as, so I bought this from a YouTube channel, so thanks to the provider of this, in which they've given me a couple of cases, which we'll kind of look at later, and then of course the phone itself. So here it is. I almost want to, and by the way, I got this phone in around 12:30 this afternoon at work, and it had to sit on my desk until 5 o'clock when I left. So that was the hardest time to sit there and look at this phone, and waiting with anticipation to get home and make this video. So here I am, opening it up for the first time, sharing it with all of you. I've waited almost 5 hours since it arrived this afternoon, and here we are. So let's open it up. Now, I'm very well aware that everybody has seen the multitudes of unboxings of this phone. I think it's going to be a little bit different for me because, as you can see by the box, this is a very exciting time for me, and I hope that this gets to come off on the video and you actually get to see the excitement that I'm you know, showing opening this phone. So here we go, let's get at it. No more time wasting here because I can't wait any further to open this up. So I ended up with a 256 version, the Obsidian, the black version, and it looked like it was in really great shape, so I'm about to find out just how great a shape. So as you can see, let's open the box. And like all the other videos here, actually I'll just get this right out of the way. You're presented with the phone itself, which I will carefully open. Oh my, there it is. The rest of the stuff is your standard fare. We don't need to look at that. You guys have seen the USB cable a million times. And here is the phone itself, already cleaned up. Oh my gosh. This is pretty incredible. The first thing I'm going to say, just from my initial looking at it, is that it's thinner than I expected. I definitely thought it was going to be a little thicker, so that's pretty incredible. And the screen is actually, was up and running. So that's pretty incredible. When you're going from the Google Pixel, the Samsung Z Fold 4 to the Google Pixel Fold, there is a drastic difference in that front screen. You can see, obviously, that the Samsung Z Fold is obviously a little bit taller, but it's not as much taller than I thought it was going to be. As a matter of fact, it's surprising as far as the difference between the two of them. I thought it was going to be much more. But I think that the width of the Pixel compared to the width of the screen of the Z Fold 4, this outweighs the size difference. So the shortness of it isn't really as much as I felt it was going to be, in a sense of a distraction, versus that Z Fold 4 to the extra width that you're getting on the screen. So I really like that. When we look at it in comparison to my probably, I guess now, second most favorite phone, the Surface Duo, you know, again, we've seen comparisons online, but here's a good example for you of the two side by side. So height, again, not as much, even less of a difference than what the Z Fold 4 was, but certainly some distance in the width. But what I really loved about, as I said earlier, about this Surface Duo was just how smooth and amazing this whole system was in how it folded. And again, a big part of it was the type of system they used in the top and bottom, exactly similar to the Pixel Fold. So for a first time right now in front of your very eyes, I'm going to open this up and see whether or not it feels as good as the Microsoft Surface Duo. So here we go. It's very tight, and it feels very similar. The one thing I am going to comment on that I notice, which is pretty apparent, and probably more so than I thought would be, is how much this doesn't lay flat. I kind of knew that, I mean, obviously it's all over the internet, that it doesn't lay flat. And I wasn't expecting it to be such sort of a drastic amount. But it is what it is. I knew it was that way. But more importantly, what I'm talking about right now is just how this feels when you open and close it. And I have to say, it's pretty much it's a very similar feeling to that Surface Duo. So I really actually, I kind of like that. And it does have that satisfying, you know, close that most folds have nowadays, but this is really quite nice. And it goes on it, it's very like, it's a magnetic one, so it's actually pretty, how do I explain it? It kind of pulls itself like together like that, so that's kind of good. But yeah, wow, that's pretty impressive. All right, so initial reactions. I paused the video for a couple of seconds because I wanted to set up the system and make sure everything was downloaded as far as apps, etc., and let it start doing its thing. I did put on a case, one of the cases that came with the phone, and I have to say I kind of like it. It's a bit of a rubberized feeling, you know, matte black kind of feeling carbon fiber, but it gives it a bit more of a grip. I kind of like it. But going back to the thinness of the phone, surprisingly, I'm going to just take the case off just to be able to show. Surprisingly, it's pretty darn thin. Kind of the same sort of feeling that I get when I held the Surface Duo. As a matter of fact, when I look at the thickness of the frame between the Surface Duo and the Pixel Fold, the USB-C input is really about, it's probably like maybe a millimeter different, and I mean, I could be completely off on that, but it seems to be pretty darn close. It definitely gives me that same feeling that the Duo gave me, and I absolutely love it. I love how this phone feels. This phone feels so good in the hands. I love that it's set up portrait versus, landscape versus portrait. You know, this is like your standard Z Fold 4. This, of course, is like the Pixel Fold. I love the Passport design, similar again, that of the Microsoft Duo. This really gives me that same sort of feeling. And when I close it, you know, again, we looked at it a little bit earlier. The size difference is pretty close. Yes, the Duo was a little bigger, and that was one of the things that I absolutely loved about it. But the one thing that drove me crazy was that gap between the two screens. I still think this is one of the best phones ever made, without question. And if they could have duplicated this phone with just no center gap, that missing piece, this thing would be incredible. Just like this, but with the full screen. A la Pixel Fold. Here is that scenario. As I said earlier in the video, this is the closest thing that's going to come to that Surface Duo 3 design, which I'm completely happy with. I absolutely love this phone. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to feel with it, about it, before I got it. Again, this is the first time I'm actually holding it in my hands. I absolutely love it. It feels incredible. I have some good solid bars. I live in an area where signal is not the greatest. I'm just going to be honest. And this phone seems to be doing a pretty decent job. I'm actually going to go into settings right now and see whether or not we are on 5G or if we're on LTE. So let's find that out. Here we go. So it looks like we are on 5G. So we'll keep it at that. Actually, I'm going to switch it to LTE just to see what happens. And actually, I get an increase, a bump up in bars. In this area, again, the 5G is not very great, and certainly not LTE. So it seems to be, and again, why wouldn't it be? It's a global phone. It has all of the bands that it should have, so that's great. Again, just the feel of the phone, very similar to that Surface Duo. The other thing I love about this phone is that I wasn't quite sure how I was going to, I mean, I knew I wanted a wider display, which I now have on this one versus, you know, the Z Fold 4. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about having to, you know, manipulate around the phone, but I can clearly, you know, pretty much access any part of this phone with my thumb, which makes it, you know, a little bit accessible. But I absolutely love that display. I mean, how can you not? This is finally the phone display, outside phone display, that I've wanted on a fold phone. So this is great. I am going to have a bit of an issue with the power button being up at the top, or the unlock. I find I'm very used to having it down below, so that's going to be a bit of a trick, but you know what, that's okay. So yeah, the way that this display looks, it's fantastic, it's beautiful, it looks great. When you open it up, again, I love the landscape versus the portrait. It just feels right. It just looks like it should. And very impressed with that. Brightness, sharpness of the screen, detail, all looks great. And you'll have to forgive me because I know I'm looking more at the screen than I am at the camera. But I really am just trying to take this all in and kind of really, you know, appreciate how this looks. That's the one thing about opening a phone for the first time and looking at it and doing a video at the same time, is that I'm sharing all of my, I don't know, absorption, learning, everything with all of you. and so maybe I'm not quite as focused as I should be on the video, and for that I apologize. But I just find myself staring at this and being quite in awe by the design. It really feels incredible. The way it closes, as I said earlier, there is absolutely no gap when it closes, so there's no potential of dust or dirt or anything getting in there. So I have to say I'm very impressed with that. The hinge, again, modeled very similarly after the Duo, Microsoft Duo 1 and Duo 2 with the top and bottom hinge. So the whole hinge mechanism is the top and the bottom, but again, you guys all know that. I'm just talking about things that you're well aware of already. But just to kind of explain to you, for those Canadians who haven't held this phone, again, this whole thing is about a Canadian perspective. We've got lots of Americans, lots of Europeans that have this phone and have videos all over the place, but not a lot of Canadians. And if you're like me, I was a Canadian wanting to know, how does this phone work for a Canadian? And so far, just from initial impressions, how this phone looks, feels, you know, the minimal angle of opening, which isn't quite as much as I thought. You know, it's not perfectly flat. Again, it's a little bit more than I expected, as I said earlier, but you know, nothing to be overly concerned with. This thing is literally a piece of art, a work of art. I think that if I was to compare this, again, as I said earlier, without question, the closest to the Surface Duo that you can get. I absolutely think it's a beauty. The screen on the inside is ample bright enough. I've got it on full right now. I don't think I've actually gone in and looked at, let's go into display and see if we can see if there's like an extra brightness. I think there is somewhere in here, but we'll look at that later. Yeah, again, fantastic, beautiful phone. I absolutely love it. For anybody in Canada who is looking to get one of these in, don't be shy, do it. It's an amazing piece of art. I love how it feels and looks. I'm going to end the video for now with just with the ask that if you enjoy the video, please subscribe. I'm still on my push for 500 subscribers. I think I'm close to 400 now. I'm getting so close. If you appreciate my videos, please subscribe, hit the like button, comment below. Again, every time I thank my viewers for watching my videos. I'm so grateful that you guys spend your time to take a look at these videos and watch them. I'm thankful for that. And I really am excited to see where this series progresses. So I am going to use this phone over the next 2 or 3 days, and then I'll come out with a new video just to speak to how well it's operating, as I said, from the Canadian perspective. And if there's anything we need to be concerned with or worried about in regards to that. So in the meantime, thank you for watching my videos. I hope that you found this somewhat informative and that there was a little bit of excitement that I got to share with you. Thank you for subscribing and liking and clicking the bell icon for further videos. And again, thank you for your time. Have a great day.